Hello, I'm Debbie and welcome to my channel and my latest birthday party favor. I made quite a few party favors for a friend of my husband's husband who's having a birthday party, and they turned out pretty cute, and I got a lot of great feedback on the pictures I posted on Facebook and Instagram, and I thought there might be interest for people to learn how to make these for themselves. And this also helps me in the future if I come back to make this exactly how I did it, because I tend to forget. I make so many different things. It's easy to forget. So this is a really fun one. I made this for my dad's 80th birthday party also that we had as a party favor. It was really cute on the table. I had one for everybody. It's a mason jar, 1 pint, and it's filled with candies and little toys and chocolate coins and gumballs and dum-dum suckers, and it's just really sweet. Fun for all ages. So I'm going to show you how I made this. So the first thing you're going to need is, this is a We Are Memory Keepers DIY party board, and this makes cones. So for ice cream cones or party favors, birthday hats, that's what this does. And so the first thing I'm going to do is put a piece of paper up in there, and I'm going to trim it first. This is a 6-inch paper, and it's got a hole at the top that we want to eliminate. And this is directional paper, so we want to make sure we put it in the proper direction. So just like that, you slip it in, and this is the cutter, and there's a little circle that fits in this track, and we hold it down and scoot it across, and it cuts very nicely. To make this on this memory board, it's the 6th peg down. I have marked it black so I remember in the future that if I want to make more of these, this is the size that I did make. So what we also want to do is cut a wedge out of the top. So this one's a bit trickier. You want to hold it down and slide it across, and there we go. Oops. The next thing we want to do is score this on both sides. It makes it much easier to put it together, because what we want to do is create a cone. So we've got to join those two sides. So we put it up, this is my scoreboard, and I've got it right up in this corner, and at the 5-inch mark, I'm just going to make a score all the way down. And then I'm going to flip it around, and I am going to take it over where it's basically just 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to score that. Okay. So on this side, on the bigger side, we want to fold that back. Okay, so away from the good side. On the other one, we want it towards the good side of the paper. And then what I like to do to make this easier is kind of like with a bone folder, just kind of bend the fibers, get them kind of conditioned that that's the way this is going to hold up, It just makes it a little easier, less of a fight. So what we're going to want to do is put these together like this. So it's kind of like holding hands, which can be tricky. So how I like to do it, you could certainly glue it, but to buy myself a little time, what I like to do is use score tape, sticky tape. And this is very narrow, like this is an 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to use 2 rows of this kind of overlapping. The 1/4 inch score tape would be too wide and hang over. So I'm just going to put this down and pull this paper up to reveal the sticky. And like I said, this is the trickiest part of this. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and I'm hoping you can see that, but I want it to go into that groove. And I hope my husband answers the phone. It's advertisement. Yesterday, I filmed this almost to the end, and it was just a tragedy of errors the entire way. Dogs were barking, phone was ringing, conversation with my husband on the phone. And then I got to the tail end, and he walked in, and I didn't realize it was, and I just gave it up. I thought, you just can't fight sometimes, and it's just not meant to be. So hopefully today it's meant to be. So see how easy that was, just smooth, and it's a nice clean finish. So there we have our cone shape. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out 2 circles. So this one's a 3-inch circle, and this one's a 2.5. This one's out of cardstock. This is out of just printer paper. So I've done that here. And this 3-inch circle, I've taken the 2.5-inch circle and put it in the middle, and I drew with pencil all the way around it. Then I took scissors, a pair of scissors, and I just fringed it all the way around. So what that's going to do is that's going to help keep this in a cone shape and help give us a base to glue this down on the ring, the mason jar ring. So this part definitely, it's a little time consuming. What I do is I use my art glitter glue, and I put a little bead across a few of the little pieces of paper, and one at a time I kind of pull it up with my little pokey tool, and then with my fingernail I just kind of go back over it and press it down. Okay, and here's another one that's got some glue on it. So I get a little bit down on one side, and then I flip it around, and that circle really helps me to keep this in shape, to keep it in a round shape. And I'm going to do this side and put a few up. I've been kind of in a hurry to get this birthday series done because these gifts that I made, my husband's delivering them today. And it makes it easier if I have a finished one to show you in the beginning of the video what it's going to look like, and then make one. So he's taking it up to the lady today and giving it to her. So this is why I needed to get this filmed. So hence my frustration yesterday when I couldn't get her done. Plus it's Easter time. We're having family and friends over for Easter. And then the day after Easter, I'm going to go visit my mama up in Oregon and our son Steven and his sweet family. Hi Mama, I love you. It's Mom's birthday tomorrow. And so I always love to go spend time with her on her birthday, or at least as close as possible to her birthday. So she's got all kinds of fun adventures lined up for us to do. She's a quilter, and so we're going to try to visit a lot of quilt shops and discover some new ones while we're up there. And we like to go to Seaside and have fun there for an afternoon. And we're going to have a family gathering of the family relatives that live up in Oregon too, which is going to be awesome. So we just keep going. This is a little fiddly, tedious, but it's an important part of keeping this together. So we just keep gluing and bending them up, and then going back with your fingernail and just kind of securing it. And we're about done. This is a cute project to do ahead of time and just have on hand, that if you have, you know, somebody's birthday coming up, it's kind of a sweet little, you know, fun extra thing to give them to celebrate them. And I think it's a cute decoration to bring out, you know, to have like on your mantle or somebody's birthday. It's kind of a fun thing to have. Okay, so there we go. Cooperate. Okay, so there we go. We've got this all the way around. It kind of looks like one of those ice creams you get from a vendor that has the paper around it and the top. That's kind of what it looks like. Okay, so the next part, we are going to glue this actually on the ring. So I like to use, this is Fabric Tack, Fabric Fix Beacon. It's great glue. It's a permanent adhesive. Gives you wiggle time, and it doesn't bubble up your paper. And what I like about this quite a bit is this will help me glue this to the metal. I don't want to just use a white glue for that. So the first thing I'm going to do is give this a more substantial base than just the copy paper. So glue that down like that. Okay, and then you're going to take this glue and glue around the ring. It doesn't extend to the outside edge of the ring. So you're just going to want to do it on the inner part of this ring. And you don't have to do it too thick. Just put a nice layer all the way around. Just smoothing it out, okay? And then that's going to fit right on the top of there, and give it a push. And that's going to take a moment to set. Okay, so that is that part of it. The next thing we're going to do is the hot glue. So I've got it all warmed up for us, and let me just get the glue out of the way. I've got my safety fingers set and my pokey tool just in case I need that. And what we're going to use is this paper fringe. And I know people are going to ask me, where did you get that? Because for some odd reason, this can be hard to find. And so where I bought mine, and I've got it in every color, she does awesome, great variety. Every solid color you could think of, she does. This is called confetti. There's a red, white, and blue. There's a red, green, and white, a red and white, cream colored, a white color. It's just great. So she has an Etsy store, and her store name is Caramellos, and it's called Tissue Garland Fringe. She sells it in 2 sizes. I always get the 8-yard size, and it's not that much, but it's just great to have. 8 yards goes a long way. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to put my fingers on, and again, this is a little bit time consuming, but this fringe is kind of bent all over the place. So I like to take a moment and kind of bend back the tissue away from it, because I don't want to waste even not one little piece of that fringe. I want it to all be out there. So I am going to start with a little bit of glue on the rim here, and I'm just going to lay that over it. And I want it to cover the ring and this white paper we glued down, but not enough where it's going to get caught into the, you know, the screen part of it to put it down on the jar. So this is how I hold it, and it's sometimes easier just to put it on the paper and then pull it around, and then I kind of push up a little bit so that glue kind of forces it up over that paper. And like I said, this is just as you go, just kind of push it back. and glue on the tissue, and then kind of hold it. Just take your time with this. You don't want to get hurt with that hot glue. And I don't know if you hear Kona barking, but I don't know what it is when I get on here. Dogs like to bark. And Rob's home, so I don't know why they're barking, but anyhow. And Pearl's in my room. She's one of our English bulldogs, and I don't know if you can hear her snoring in the background, but she's happy and content. Okay, so we're almost back to the beginning, and we've got a little bit more to go. Okay, and then at this point, Kona, no. Then you just want to snip it off, okay? And we're just gonna kind of make a place for it, and then glue this down. Okay. Now the next part, what we want to do is put a little fringe on top. So what I like to do is take a little length of it and glue on one side and lay that down and glue the other end, and I kind of fold that back over, and then I kind of squish it together, and I try to get the little fringe to stick straight up. Stick straight up. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to take this all the way around. I tend to start and stop at the seam because I try to make that the back. So again, I'm going to put a little dab of glue to get us started and put it up there. And this is a very quick trip around this little part. And go around. Kona's upset because she can't come in my room. I've got the door closed, so I have a sliding glass door to one end of my room to go to the backyard, and she's at that end crying. Okay, so we are just gluing, and it's back around the beginning, and going to trim that off. And again, just pull it up. I'm just going to secure that little end. And there we go. And at that point, you just kind of give it a little squeeze, not enough to crush the cone, but enough to hold it down because it grabs pretty quickly. And then this is where you want to just kind of fluff the top. You want it to be a party up there. Isn't that cute? Okay, and at this stage of the game, this is where you can fill it in with all your goodies, and then I put that back on. That's what comes with the jar. And then we can put our hat on. So just pulling back the fringe, laying it on that jar, and tightening it up. And then with your hands, you just go back around and fluff it up. So at this point, this is where you can leave it just like that. It's adorable, or you can give it some decoration. So the decoration I've got on mine is this little happy birthday. In a previous video, I said how I found this on the internet and copied it and then put it on Word and sized it, and then I cut it out with a circle hole punch. This ends up being a 2-inch hole punch, and then I've got a 2 1/4 inch little flower punch that I did behind it. I bumped it up with the foam tape to give it a little bit dimension, okay? And I stickled it for some fun glitter. So all I did here was I took some of this seam binding ribbon and started, let's see, where's that seam? That seam's right there. Sometimes you just can't help where this ends up falling. I'm going to, I guess I'm going to put it right here. So what I do is put my finger back on. Can you hear that dog? Oh my gosh, they're like little children. She's upset because she's not in here with me. Kona. Okay. So there we go. Just give that a little push. And then we are going to come around. And I'm just a tiny bit of glue, just right there, just enough to kind of secure it. But we're kind of pulling snugly to bring it back around. And here we go right here. So this is where I'm going to put some glue over this spot and lay that over it. And give it a press with my rubber finger, okay? And then we're going to trim that away. So on this Snug Hug seam binding, just in case you're curious for the colors, this one is Strawberry Glaze. And this one, which, oh my gosh, 100 yards and I'm down that much. This is just orange. That's easy to remember. Orange and Strawberry Glaze. Those are these two colors. Okay, so there we are, and then all we need to do next is, here's the little birthday image that I want to put on there, and I'm just going to lay that on top like that, and that covers the seam of the seam binding, and straighten it, and then there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I think it's pretty darn cute. The paper you want to use, like I said before, I think is like a cardstock, not too thick, but more than just paper. And again, I use this little pad from Echo Park. Happy birthday. It's pretty cute. And there again. Isn't that fun? What a great gift. Okay. Well, thank you again for watching. I hope this wasn't too crazy with animals and whatnot. But I hope you try this one. It's a fun one to do. And it's a crowd pleaser. Everybody loves to get these. All right, take care. I'll see you next time.